The next question is from Pierre. Pierre wants to know, how does the Black Business School differ from the Harvard Business School or any other prestigious business school in the country? Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. Now, as you know, I have a lot of experience teaching at a lot of business schools across the country. I taught at the Ohio State University, University of Kentucky, Indiana University, Syracuse University, and the University of Rochester. Now, I've never taught at Harvard, I have to say that, but I've have friends that have taught there. I know academia really well. My dissertation advisor actually wanted me to teach at a school like a Harvard, but I just, that just wasn't really my thing. I actually wanted to come back to my community. And I don't know if how comfortable, how much I'd fit into that environment because schools like that don't really hire a lot of black people in my field. Now, with that being said, the way the Black Business School was designed to be different from all these other things is in a few key areas. Number one, if you go through most business schools across the country, one thing you'll find missing are black professors. Most business schools don't have very many African American professors, and I truly believe that there are unique experiences that black people have that should be identifiable with the person who's teaching you. So, for example, white folks will tell you if you want to start a business, go get a bank loan, and it's going to take you 3 to 5 years to become profitable. I'm a black man. I know exactly how unrealistic that is. I understand. Number one, black people don't get the loans that white people get. Number two, we don't have 3 to 5 years to be unprofitable. Most of us who are quitting our jobs have 3 to 5 months before we're underwater financially. So that calls for the creation and the development and the implementation of very specific models of raising capital and running businesses that white folks don't really teach so much in their business schools. Now, not to say they can't teach; they're not teaching something good, but that's just a fundamental fact. And also, I think that there's a benefit to having people that look like you in front of you that are teaching you. And I think that people underestimate that, but that mentorship is everything. The reason I have a PhD today is because I met two black male mentors along the way, and these were literally both of these guys were the only African American professors in their entire business school, 6 or 7 different departments, the only black men. These are the ones I gravitated toward. These are the ones I befriended. They're still my friends to this day. Without these men, I would not be here in front of you right now. So we all deserve to be mentors or to have mentorship, and I am your mentor. That's why I'm here. Next benefit is most schools you don't get to learn from a professor as well known as me. You go to Harvard University. I don't think they have any black professors that are as well known in the black community as I am, and I'm not bragging about it. Now maybe in certain departments they do, like Henry Louis Gates, absolutely, and maybe one or two other people. I can't think of anybody, but in the business school, I challenge you to go look at this. There are no black professors in the business school that are as well known in the black community as I am. They do have a guy named Roland Fryer, I think is his name, who's really really smart, but he's not really working with black people like that. Most of these folks, when they get that quote unquote success, they want to go run off and sit next to the white man. I'm not dissing them. I'm not saying that they're just bad people. I'm just saying that that's the draw. That's the pull because there's big money in sitting next to white people. There's big money in associating with white organizations. I didn't want any of that. I want to be next to my people. That's where I want to be. Being next to you, teaching you is the most valuable thing I could be doing with my time right now. If I wasn't doing this, I would feel like I was wasting my life. What's the next thing? The other thing is with the Black Business School, we're very, very big on giving you instructors that actually have experience in the field that they're teaching you in. In a lot of business schools, most business schools, this is something I saw in my 20 years of teaching in business schools, most business school professors have never run a business. Why is that important? Well, where's that? What's going on here? How does that happen? Well, universities tend to promote and hire professors their based on their research. And I'm gonna tell you what, if I tell you that I'm doing research on empirical asset pricing models that fit with the theory of market microstructure, you don't care about that. You just need me to show you how to get your business off the ground. You need me to show you how to analyze a budget or maybe some financial statements. You don't need me to tell you about empirical analysis of market microstructure, which is a niche within a niche within a niche within a niche. You don't need all of that. Most people don't even care about any of that. So what happens is you have universities, and this is sad because the higher you go, the more this actually happens. You have universities where the most elite professors tend to be the ones who have the least experience in the real world. Why? Well, because they've been sitting around doing research all day. This research ain't easy. I wrote more solo authored research papers in my department than probably anybody in the history of Syracuse University. So I know this research. I remember spending thousands of hours working on these models, and it made me smart. It helped me analyze a lot of stuff. But two things happened. Number one, I was disconnected from the real world. Number two, I remember thinking, this is not making a difference at all in the lives of the people that I care about. I'm going to write this research paper. It's going to be beautiful and it's going to be brilliant. And it's going to sit in a dusty academic journal that is only going to be read, and the article might be read by 20 people if I'm lucky. That's a waste of your life. And unfortunately, a lot of academics are stuck with this brainwashing. They don't understand this. And also, they're chasing that paper. They're chasing that money from these universities that are going to pay them to be good at research, but not good at teaching, not good at implementation, none of these things. In fact, when I decided I wanted to connect with the Black community, I was literally like a domesticated animal that had to learn how to hunt again. I had to go out and really relearn just how to engage with the world, how to actually run a real business, how to actually teach things that matter to the lives of a working class person, as opposed to things that we're taught in the ivory tower. So universities and academia can be a little bit like a church, where you ever see people up in church where they up there sitting there so close to the Lord that they ain't really caring about the homeless person out on the street, or the prostitutes on the corner, or the little young teenager that got shot because he didn't have any after school programs. Right? Well, that's kind of what academia is. Academia, unfortunately, at least in our field, finance, a very white male dominated, very conservative field, they look down on anything that involves connecting with the public. So when I would go and do public things like go on national television, things like that, I wasn't given credit for that. They didn't say, "Congratulations, Boyce, you just did something that impacted millions of people." They would look at me like I had just gone out and injected myself with some sort of virus. It was very, very discouraging, and also being Black added to that lack of appreciation for what I was actually doing. I would say I thought it was amazing. I thought it was wonderful that I was connecting with my people. They kind of thought it's like, yeah, but Black people aren't that important. They would never say that. But if you look at the policies in terms of how the incentive structures were kind of laid out, there was no incentive for me to connect to my community. So I believe that that's very important. I believe, and this is my encouragement to you, that you really want to, what's the word? You really want to find your own value systems. You want to find your own way of kind of seeing what's important to you and what's not, because white supremacy will teach you that things are important when they're really not. They'll teach you that it's important to go live in the suburbs and get a corporate job and go have a cushy office and just take care of yourself, when really it's not beneficial to anybody but you. The third reason that the Black Business School is better than pretty much most universities around the country, I'm not saying it's the only great place you can get an education, but it's an extraordinary place, is that we don't teach you how to go work for somebody else. We teach you how to build something that will last in your family for generations. We're all about legacy building. We're not about teaching you how to climb the corporate ladder. We're about teaching you how to build a corporate ladder and putting yourself on the top of it. That is critical. That is a game changer. How you see yourself, where you position yourself, makes all the difference in the world in terms of where you end up. So, for example, when I went out to Hollywood and I started making movies, I didn't go out to Hollywood and say, I want to do an audition, and I hope that out of these 4,000 people who are auditioning, I'll be the one that they pick. I didn't do that. I raised the money and I went out there and created my own productions. When I create my own productions, guess who gets to be the boss when I walk onto the set? Me. Guess who gets to decide what role he's going to play, what lines he's going to have, how the whole process, the whole script of the movie is going to go? The boss. So ultimately what we do is we really focus very, very hard on teaching you how to be the boss instead of just being bossed around by somebody else. But there is a cost to being the boss, and that comes with the territory as well. And so the final benefit of the Black Business School versus, say, a Harvard or anywhere else is the cost. The cost. Most universities, even mediocre schools, are going to charge you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, sometimes as high as $60,000, $70,000 a year to get an education that in many cases does not even get the person a job when they graduate. So not only do they not get a job from the white supremacist economic system, but they also don't even know how to create a job. That's a lot of money to spend to get virtually nothing in return. Now, I'm not here to say that a college education is a bad thing. We choose to see the Black Business School as a supplement as opposed to a clear replacement. But at the very least, we also see it as a necessity for any Black person. If they do go into these universities and spend $100,000, Go to the Black Business School, spend $2,000 or $3,000 and get a quality education that will probably exceed anything that you get at a university. But take that information on how to build, how to create, how to navigate the economic system as a Black man or Black woman, and then add on whatever white folks teach you at these big universities. And I say white folks because you go to most of these elite schools and most of the faculty are white. USC, for example, the school that Dr. Dre gave all that money to, which drove me crazy. USC, actually, I one of the students just told me that their tuition next year for room and board and books and classes and all that is going to go up to $70,000 a year, or between 65 and 70, and that's a lot of money to spend. And so when you compare that to a $99 a month class in the Black Business School, it's a whole different level, right? It's not even, I mean, the price, you can't even compare the pricing. But here's the thing, you can compare the quality, because I guarantee this, there ain't no class in the country where you're going to get to take a class from me and Damon Dash at the same time. Damon Dash, who created Jay-Z, who created Kanye West, who created Rockefeller Records, who created the career of Rachel Roy, who can teach you the real the real underpinnings of how to run a business, how to build an empire from scratch when you're on the street, ain't got no money, trying to just hustle it up and make it into something. No business school in America can teach you like that. Okay, so when you add me plus Damon, and we're both teaching you at the same time, you're going to get some knowledge because you're learning from two men who are both millionaires. Now, I'm more of a paper millionaire, but my businesses are worth millions of dollars. Damon has been a cash money millionaire. He knows what it's like to make millions of dollars. He knows what it's like. He knows what it's like to build one of the greatest artists on the planet, when nobody else would listen to him. Well, he was the reason. Go listen to his story. His class is at intelligentbossmoves.com. Go listen to his story. He tells you how no one would listen to Jay-Z, and he was the one who kicked those doors in and kind of created a space for Jay-Z that was off of the system, that was off the grid, when nobody else would let him on the grid. So that's the kind of information and the knowledge you won't get anywhere else. Dr. Claude Anderson, author of Powernomics, has rolled through. Dr. Julianne Malveaux, who is a PhD in economics from MIT, rolls through the Black Business School. Tariq Nasheed, the creator of Hidden Colors, one arguably the single most successful solely Black documentary series in the history of this country, has rolled through. We create builders. We create Black builders. We're unapologetically and authentically Black. And so when you compare us to, say, a Harvard or a USC or University of Tennessee or whatever, in a way, it's almost like comparing apples to oranges. The apples are black and the oranges are white. I mean, just being serious. What a university does for you is it gives you a certification for a very high price, a certification that allows you to go into the predominantly white economic system and potentially compete for a job. The problem with that, though, is that Black people don't get the jobs. We don't get the pay that we deserve. We don't get the promotions, and we're the first ones to be fired. And so Black unemployment is typically double that of whites. So what we focus on in the Black Business School is building, building, building. We're saying to you, look, let's create a plan B so that when they don't want to give you a job, you're not going to sit around feeling sorry for yourself. Because you got a whole lot of brothers sitting around drinking beer and smoking weed all day and playing Xbox in their drawers in their mama's basement because they can't get a job anywhere. Well, I don't believe that a Black man's access to his dignity should be denied because a white man will not get him a job. That is overdependence. That is what I call economic immaturity. You're an economic child when you depend on other people to provide for you because you don't know how to build something of your own. So in the Black Business School, we focus on building. Do we have the accreditations like universities have where you can go to a corporation and say, I have a degree from the Black Business School, give me a job? No. They're going to recognize skill, but they may not recognize the credential, right? But in the Black community, being taught by me does have a certain degree of accreditation. I guarantee you this. You go through the Black Wealth Bootcamp and you say, I learned from Dr. Boyce Watkins and I'm certified. That's going to make a difference for a Black-owned business. So in the Black economic system, this certification does have value and is growing every single day. That's why we have over 25,000 students right now. That's why we're exposed to probably 5 or 6 million Black people every week, because people understand the vision. They understand the mission. They understand what we're building here. And maybe in a generation, maybe one of my successors will take it to the next level where it will become a Harvard. Because remember, Harvard had to start somewhere. Yale had to start somewhere. All these great, so-called great institutions had to start somewhere. we're starting somewhere. We're planting a seed. So those are the benefits of being in the Black Business School. The way I would see it is not so much a competitive thing, but as a supplement and as a complement. Because I can't tell you how many college graduates I have had come through the Black Business School and take a class with us and say, this, I learned more from this program than I learned from any class I ever took in college. Now I learned in my whole 4 years of college. And I know this, and it doesn't surprise me because I know what people learn in college because I spent 20 years on college campuses. The last little bonus that I'll throw in there with the Black Business School is that our goal is not to create a class, it's to create an economy. So every program we have has no ending point. When you take a class in college, it's like, oh, you're in here for 4 months and then you're done. Then they say, okay, here you go, good luck, take care, you got an A, good luck with your life. We don't do that. All of our courses are set up as membership programs where you're able to pay a small monthly fee and get knowledge, get mentorship, get all kinds of information you're going to need on your journey. And then on top of that, we try to provide tools that will allow you to enter into a Black-run economic system such that you're not just sitting with all this information and knowledge with no ability to apply it. That's one problem. If you come out of the university and they've taught you how to make films, they've taught you how to be a fashion designer, and you can't get a job with a fashion company, then you're going to be sitting around mad because you're going to be like, I know all this stuff about fashion, but nobody will give me a chance to practice fashion. Nobody should have to give you an opportunity to practice your craft. If you know how to build, then you can build an infrastructure that will allow you to take whatever role that you want to have. So ultimately with the Black Business School, what we do is we teach you, we give you all the fundamentals. There's nothing about money and finance you can't learn in the Black Business School. But then what happens is after we give you the fundamentals, we talk about the implementation. And then you have consistent mentorship where I give you ideas that literally will save you thousands of dollars so you won't make the same mistakes I did. And then we say, okay, if you want to begin implementing sales processes to generate a stream of income, go to the blackcommercenetwork.com where we have an affiliate program where we have Black businesses connecting with Black people that want to sell their products on their social media platforms. If you want to raise money, we say, look, go to blackcrowdfunders.com, which is a platform we created to allow Black people to raise money from other Black people. If you want to get exposure for your business, I say email my man Andre Hatchett at financialjuneteenth.com. He can do an interview with you and expose you on our platform. I'll even put it on my own Facebook page and my YouTube channel, just et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we try to implement systems and ideas and possibilities that allow you to not just get a class, but to get an economy. Our goal is not to create a class or classes. Our goal is to create an economy where we're walking with you through the entire process, because what we understand is that we have a fundamental role in a broader mission to create economic prosperity in the Black community by developing trade and opportunity for everyone that wants to be involved. So we teach certain fundamental principles that relate to wealth building, the power of ownership, but most importantly, cooperative economics, which brings it back together. Because what does that mean? That means that we don't just need wealthy Black people. We got a lot of wealthy Black people in Hollywood. We need wealthy Black people who care about other Black people so that they take their wealth and take their power and take their expertise and they apply it to the people that they care about. If you have that, then you build a nation. So we are nation builders. So again, no disrespect to Harvard, Yale, and all these other schools out here, but we doing something that really don't exist nowhere else, and it's something special, and it's more special every day, and that's why we're getting hundreds of people signing up every single day. So I hope that this helps you understand the value of the Black Business School. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.